The year is 1992, and I'm living in Jerusalem, Israel. I'm spending a gap year there between finishing high school and going to college. I'm studying sacred Jewish texts. And in addition to everything that I brought with me, I bring along my Roland D5. Because my sophomore year of high school, totally out of the blue, I fall in love with music and songs and piano and songwriting. So the idea of spending a year with a piano is untenable. So I buy this keyboard from my friend Art before I head off to Israel. And it turns out that while I'm there, I write 2 songs over the course of that year on this keyboard. And it's like a really big deal, like a huge deal. So before I go home for the year, I say, you know what, I want to get these professionally recorded. I find a recording studio. I show up at midnight because that's when the rates get cut in half, at midnight. And at 2 a.m., I walk out the door with this. And I am over the moon. You cannot even understand how excited I am. And looking at it now, the best part of the whole thing is that I wrote on it, this is my handwriting, first recording. It was like I was broadcasting my dream for my life. I wanted this to be the first of many recordings, and I'm so grateful to say that it was. Now, before I continue with this story, I want to pop out for a second and ask you guys a question to reflect on. And here's my question that I want you to think about, all right? There are things that we work on in our life that are skills. Like you can go to medical school and learn a skill. You can become a CPA. And these are skills that we can learn. And we work hard at them to learn them. But there's also something that I call our hard-earned superpowers. And this is how when we take our life experience and we bring it to our careers. So I want to ask you to write down now, take a moment please, and write down not your skills that make you good at what you do, but what are your superpowers? What are the 2 biggest ways in which you've grown over the last many years that make you better at what you do professionally? All right, so keep those in your back pocket. I'm going to jump right back into my story here. All right, so there we are with my cassette. Now, do you guys want to hear a little bit of one of these songs? Yeah. Okay, here we go.
You, my friend, I write this for the many times I tried to tell you what I had to say, but couldn't see inside you even as you stood before me, awaiting my reply. I want to tell you something now, cause you know how I hate these long hellos. I don't want to be like those who wrote the earth too long, always humming a sad song.
By the way, I've never done this before. I just had this transferred to an MP3 last month. And more than that, I hadn't listened to it in about 20 years. So here's the story. When I listened to this is 25 years ago. All right? This is 1993, actually. 25 years ago. So when I listened to this, here's what I heard. Skills. My skills have gotten better. I'm a better singer. I've been working for 25 years to get better at that. I'm a better instrumentalist. Been working at that skill. I'm a better songwriter. I've been working at that, although I love it. I still love this melody. I'm better at all those things. But I want to talk to you about a superpower. You want to hear what my superpower is?
Yeah.
The lyrics. And this is why this is my superpower. I remember writing this song, and I remember I had one thought on my mind, and the only thought on my mind was, do not let them in. Do not let them in. Don't let them know how I really feel. Don't let them know what's going on inside. For me to be that vulnerable with lyrics was terrifying. And I remember writing this song. Whenever I wrote a lyric, and a lot of songs, if I wrote a lyric that felt like truth, or that felt in any way vulnerable, I changed it. So the lyrics were really, really cryptic. But here's one of my superpowers. I have learned over the last 25 years to be more authentic and vulnerable with my music. And I think that I could work at my skills forever I could become an amazing singer. I could become an amazing pianist or guitarist, and that goes a long way, but not nearly as far as our superpowers take us. And I want to demonstrate the difference to you. So here I'm going to demonstrate the difference to you. Here's a song that I wrote last month. I don't know what I'm doing, but I don't know how to do anything else. It's hard to see where I'm heading, and there's no way to tell if this compass is working. And I know I'm not alone, and I know you're not alone. Then why do I feel so alone in this anger that burns inside? I don't recognize that it burns like a wildfire. So help me. I don't even know what I'm asking for. Please help me. I don't even know who I'm asking. Maybe it's you. Maybe it's you. Are you looking to me for the answers? If so, please know I just have the questions. Don't you know that only you can heal your own life? And I'm trying to heal and I'm trying to grow, but it seems like I'm missing so many pieces. Am I enough? Why can't I stop? And if you knew who I am, would you still love me? So help me. I don't even know what I'm asking for. Please help me. I don't even know who I'm asking. Maybe it's you. Maybe it's you. Now I'm looking around and I don't know how it got to be New Year's again. Was I sleeping or dreaming or just wasting time? Looking like I was building something, feeling like I was really important, seeming like I knew where I was going. But maybe we all need a friend so that we're not so lonely. Knowing that you feel the same way too reminds me that some things are universal and that maybe we can find our way home. We don't know what we're doing, but we don't know how to do anything else. It's hard to see where we're heading, and there's no way to tell if this compass is working. So how do you get from do not let them in to if you knew who I am, would you still love me? Like, that's actually pretty scary to just stand up here saying that right now. I want to tell you, there's I read this quote in Bird by Anne Lamott: right straight into the emotional center of things, right toward vulnerability. And when I read that, it's like my heart exploded, because I was writing away from vulnerability. I was like, this is scary. And I thought, I'm going to try this. And what happened is the more I did it, the more people responded. The more people said, thank you for expressing something that I feel also. So I had more and more courage to do it. And then it's like an upward cycle, right? The more you do it. And I realized over time that that's actually what creativity is. Creativity, innovation, all of these things that move us forward as humans It's just having the courage to take an idea that's inside of us and bring it to fruition outside of us in the world. Creativity is having the courage to bring what's inside to the outside. So that's my superpower. That's my first one, learning how to be vulnerable, learning how to be authentic and real with what I do. I want to share the second one with you. My second superpower, I forgot to tell you the frame of this talk. I'm telling you my superpowers. I have 2 superpowers. Woo-hoo! So my second superpower, I am embarrassed to tell you that I stood on stage for more than 10 years before I understood this. Do you want to know what it is?
Yeah.
Not that. It is all about the audience, or it is all about the customer, depending on what it is. So let me tell you the cycle I went through for over 10 years. All right, I book a show. The show's coming up, and oh my God, this is going to be humiliating. Nobody's coming. It's just going to be my parents. This is going to be terrible. This is going to be awful. All right, get on stage. It's going okay, and then suddenly something doesn't go okay. I hit a bad note, hit a bad something, and it's like, oh my God, get me off of the stage as quickly as possible. This is really not fun. And then afterwards, shame coma. Shame coma for like 2, 3, 4 weeks, like after. So this cycle, I think my poor husband went through this with me so many times, years and years and years, going through this cycle every time. Finally, in somewhere around 2006, I go through this cycle, I do a show, I'm in my shame coma, and I've changed, and I just say, you know what? I don't want to do this anymore. I'm not getting onto a stage again until it's fun. I'm not getting onto a stage again until I break the cycle, because it just sucks. So I take 2 or 3 years off of performing. And I try to figure out what's going on. Like, what's this cycle? Why am I not having fun? And do you want to hear what I found out?
Yeah.
I learned that when I was on stage, I cared about one person in the room. Guess who it was? Me. Which makes sense. I'm the one on stage. Everybody's looking at me. So it should be about me. Me. Do they like me? Do they respect me? Do they think I'm talented? How do I look? Do I look pretty? Do they think I'm amazing? Do they think I have a perfect life? And it's like a really, really stressful situation to be in, because none of us are perfect. And if you're trying to show that you're perfect, it's just stressful because it's not true. But I learned that really it's all about you. If you are giving me your non-renewable resource of your time, if you are giving me your money, I have an obligation to deliver something incredible to you. And once I started doing that, it became fun, because I could be really imperfect and still deliver on what I was hoping to deliver to you. I can inspire you while hitting a bad note. I can make you laugh while forgetting the lyrics to my songs. I didn't have to be perfect anymore. It made it fun. So I've got 2 takeaways from this talk. The first is the small takeaway. The small takeaway is that, we all know this, my superpowers are really good for business. We all want to do business with people and companies that are, number 1, authentic, and number 2, care about the customer experience. Now, I can't, the monitor isn't working, so I'm going to have to move to show you this. Did anybody here shop at overstock.com?
I guess, yeah.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. Yes. So overstock.com, a little over a year ago, I bought some chairs from them. And it's like Monday, Tuesday, when like the chairs are not arriving. So finally I emailed them, and I'm like, dude, like, where are my chairs? Side note, the chairs were there all along on a part of my porch that we didn't see. So it was totally my fault. I get this email back from them. You ready? Can I even read it from here? Let's see. I want to start by saying how incredible... First of all, wait, what does it say? Thank you for contacting Overstock! Huge exclamation point.
Here it is, Julie.
Thank you. Oh, I still can't read that. I want to start out by saying how incredibly sorry I am for the issues you've experienced, right? Julie, I'm really shocked that you've not received this item. I can't tell you enough how embarrassing this is for us here at Overstock, right? So first of all, they're being authentic. They're human. As soon as I read that, I was like shocked, embarrassed. Oh my God, this is a person, right? Have a wonderful time. The whole thing is like, this is not a computer writing. I could feel the authenticity. Number two, they obviously care about the customer experience, and they took care of me. So do you think I still shop at Overstock?
Yeah.
Whenever I can, right? Authentic and concerned about my experience. But here's the big takeaway. Take a look at your superpowers. Does anybody want to share theirs, by the way? Anyone want to share any of your superpowers? Yeah. Listening. Oh, it's a brilliant superpower. Yeah. Hand-holding, yeah. Both of you in the back, Dr. Michelle and person next to you.
Humility.
Mm.
Mine would be seeing the best in them and helping them see it too so they can get there.
Mm. Wow. Judith.
Intuition.
And compassion. Now, do you know anything about intuition?
Yeah, no.
Compassion. Wow. Yeah.
Spirited.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah. Attitude of service. So here's the really big takeaway. My superpowers are great for business. What about yours? They're great for business. So I want to encourage you. We never, ever, ever stop building our skills. I still study with a voice teacher. I still work on my chops all the time. Skills are super important. But your superpowers, don't forget that those, if you really, really apply them in your business and your work, those are what make you fly. Because everybody can learn skills, but not everybody has the life experience to have your superpowers. So that's my big takeaway. Now my big, huge, not a surprise takeaway is how about let's do some music? Yeah.